swear the chicks is thicker. Reppin' for the team, that's the pinche Houston sippers. She don't want your liquor, she don't want your chipper. She poppin' for a legend, that's a real masa flipper. This is for la raza, this is for la raza. I'm in my trap, casa whipping up the damn masa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 72 of the What Did He Said podcast. I am your host, Chingo Blingo, with the big tamarindo. And sipping Café Bustelo, we have Marisol, producer Rob,
What up, everyone?
Barbón.
El Barbón.
That's what the babysitter calls you.
Really?
Nickname.
Ya llegó el Barbón.
El Barbón.
She does.
That's like his cartel
Yeah.
alias.
That's funny.
Se
Yeah.
busca Roberto, alias El Barbón.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. We were at the Astros game yesterday, and we took the Twins for the first time to an event like that.
Yeah.
It went all right. We're not doing that for a couple of years.
Why?
It's just
Too
much.
little, right?
Too little,
They
yeah.
can't. They're not ready to sit still for that
No.
long, right?
We made it to the fourth inning, which I said exactly fourth inning, and we had to bounce. And then what I was gonna say, there was
What,
a
they
guy.
got restless or what?
Yeah, they get fussy. I mean, they get
Yeah.
fussy. You know, they really have a reason to get fussy. And then they had to go to restroom 3 times in 4 innings. And Donna was like, "You guys are killing me," you know, like having to get up. And it's just so many people there.
And it's baseball. If
Yeah,
it was
it
like
is.
football or basketball, they'd be like, yeah, I'm cool.
Different, yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
I can
you
hang.
know, I don't know, babe. I mean, kids.
Baseball,
It's
I
hard
have to
to
piss every
entertain.
inning.
If they last a long time,
Yeah.
And I said that all to say that there was a giant guy. This guy had to have been like 500 or 600 pounds, like 2 rows in front of us. And Brooklyn was like, "It's like a giant robber down there." He had a beard. This guy was huge.
A giant Robert.
And I was like, "Don't say that."
Elephantitis of the beard.
I was like, "Don't say that. That's mean." Well, he's giant. I was like, "Yeah, I know, but still."
It's not nice to call people humongous.
So funny.
That's funny. That's something such
Well, hey,
kids. Say.
like Bryson Brown says, he says, a toddler will tell you like everything about yourself.
I know. That's why whenever like, I don't know what Mickey said. I said, "Oh God, man, this losing weight thing is taking so long." She goes, "No, actually, you're not." You know, she's like starts telling me like, "Okay, if it's coming from her that she's telling me I'm not fat, okay, I must not be like as big as in my what I see in the mirror is, right?" And then she, to make me feel even better, she goes, "Let me see your phone." And I was like, "Okay." So I let her get my phone. She pulls out this picture on Google of this like 600-pound guy. She's like, "Now that's fat. See, that's fat. You're not fat." And I was like, the way to make me
Let
feel
me Google something real quick.
She's so funny.
One time somebody gave me some like hair regrowth shampoo and or something like that, and my daughter was like, "Oh wow, Daddy, it's working. Like your hair's growing back, mainly on the sides, not so much on top, but it's growing back great." I'm like, trick.
Yeah. And then like she's so honest. And then she when Pete showed her the video of us boxing, at first she's watching, she's like,
Oh
"Oh
wow.
wow. Marisol's way better than you, Dad."
She's like, "Oh wow, Sully has like that, like the head movement. Like she's, you know, she looks natural. She's flowing.
Yeah, it's so
Daddy,
funny.
you're a little stiff. You're a little stiff, Daddy."
Damn.
She's just like,
I was like, "I need to stretch, baby."
she's like, "Oh, okay, Dad. No, you're not doing bad, Dad. You still did good, but Sully's you can tell she knows how."
Well, that's a great segue in talking about. Well, we just walked in. Rob was like, "How was y'all's workout?" And I'm like, "Save it for the podcast." And Marisol was ready to just start talking. I was like, "Save it for the podcast." And I'm still kind of
With that same-
I'm
yeah.
catching my breath. I'm still catching my breath. So, if you follow on Instagram, I created a highlight called Mamado Team. It's like a lot of our Mamado Team. Wow. It's the social media where I'm trying to do a better job of documenting and just keeping a better communication with the people. So we've been really cranking up the heat in the gym. Mainly part of the goal is because we have this LA trip, right? So we just want to be at our best. As it is, we're kind of like approaching it like immigrant mentality, like minimalist. Like we can't pack up the whole house. Let's just take what we need. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this workout was brutal. And it seems, shout out to Sean Harris, at Agent Sean. I believe his episode
will have already dropped.
will have already dropped. Go back and listen to it. It's the one right before this. And it feels like, how many sessions have we done with him?
This is the third one.
Only the third?
And I'm sorry.
I thought you went
that's
back.
the fourth.
Yeah, fourth.
It's the
This is the
fourth.
fourth one. It feels like it's just progressively harder. So some of the stuff we had to do today, I'll just name one. Let me see. Where do I begin? So he put a rubber band, we got to lay on our back to do abs. He tied a rubber band, like the giant, what do you call them?
Resistance
Resistance bands around a pole. You got to stick your feet in there, and you got to, like elevate your legs. That shit will be hard without a band, period. Like I wanted to do it without a band. But we're having to resist against the band, hella lunges, all kind of like hex bar jump squats. And it was just like, next round. I'm like,
I was like, wait, no break. He's like, no break. And I was like.
Well, to warm up, you run a mile. You run a mile to warm up. And then it's just go. Fucking, he put up a whole bunch of cones. And it's like, okay, bear crawl to the next cone. Okay, mountain climbers, bear crawl to the next cone. Push-ups, bear crawl to the next cone. What are those? Crab walks.
Mm-hmm.
And then like these crazy ab toe touches. And then simple shit like shoulder tags and hold a plank. That's easy. I mean,
You would think.
But already by the end of the workout, it's just a humbling thing, man. And where I'm at right now is, like putting a line down a piece of paper. On the left is just greatness and everything good you would want out of life, like just tranquility, peace. You're just enjoying the moment. You're just good at you're tackling goals and you're trying your best. On the right is how I felt on that ground. Like, bro, you got a lot of work to do. So on the right, it's just like that, the ego, like lack of discipline, lying to yourself, like just lying to yourself that you really were pushing yourself hard on your own in the gym. And
so we've asked him to create a workout program while we're out of town, just so that we can keep up with what he's already started. And what I'm telling Pete is like, because I won't have a babysitter, like we won't have help. I told him, I was like, we've got to make it a point to where there's a gym in the building.
Chingo is Pete, by the way.
I'm sorry, Chingo.
Yeah. No, call me Pete.
So I'm hoping that we're both able to push each other the way he pushes us, where we're not like, it's all right, cool. You need 30 seconds? All right, take your 30 seconds.
Man.
All right, cool. That's what I hope we don't end up doing to each other, because
it was hard to walk after, like right now even, but just hard to catch your breath. Hard to walk.
What's
like
so funny is
legs.
that people don't know we've been recording a lot of episodes in preparation for y'all's trip to California, and every episode, like, the energy has been different whether you worked out before or there wasn't a workout that
that's
day.
funny.
Well, I'll put it to you like this, man. Like, as difficult as it is, I'm happy knowing that I put in the work. Like, even though I feel beat up, it's one step closer to character. You see what I'm saying? What I had said the other episode where I'm like, when you're doing jiu-jitsu, when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, when you're humbling yourself to learn boxing, or when you're focusing on technique and form, and you're just trying to be consistent and diligent, even though these workouts are hard, it's me, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, being real with myself. Yeah, because I was literally laying down, catching my breath, and he was like, I think he was filming me like, yeah, that's what you want. And I was just like, that's the sound of the ego dying. And I was like, you hear that? I was like, that's my little stubborn belly fat saying, hey, man, hold on, dog. I've been with you for a long time. When nobody else was there, it was me and you. He's trying to kill us. He's trying to separate us. Because that's literally what's happening. It's like my body's going to soon start having to, like, burn some shit because he's making us do, oh, my God, the hardest thing, he gives you one dumbbell and you're doing a one-arm burpee. So you're putting one arm behind your back. So you're having to do that sprawl, like that hinge to the ground, like hips to the ground while you got one arm. So you're trying to stabilize some shit, and then you got to, like, jump back up so that you can jump up with the weight. Oh, I think you keep the weight down here. And you got to do a little jump with the weight, like a burpee.
Yeah.
But with two hands, burpees are still hard, but I can do 10 burpees with two hands. One hand, I was like, can I do 5 and then switch hands and then go back 5 to the left and then again 5? He's like, I guess. But I'm like, golly, bro. Like, that honestly was probably, I feel like I had 2 left feet and I couldn't, like, I'd go down for the sprawl and I just felt like I was going to collapse from the lack of,
stability,
cross body balance or whatever they call it.
It's been quite intense, but I've been wanting to, I told you I have a goal of July 11th, so I had been wanting to push the limit And I was trying to get Pete to join me, so finally I got
July 11th, what?
That's my goal to be at least 20 pounds lighter.
Oh, your personal deadline.
My personal deadline.
Well, we're going back to get a DEXA body scan.
Hopefully we can get it in
follow-up.
Wednesday before
Yeah, so I could compare.
before we leave.
So I could compare because when I got the first DEXA body scan, I was still on some I think this is how you bulk up. Like you just got to eat more and don't do no cardio because you just gonna burn what you would have been using to build muscle. And then we went and got the DEXA and it's like, bitch, you just fat. That ain't it don't work like that. Like you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough, or you're not eating the right things, or you're not measuring. So I was like eyeballing everything. The very next day after the DEXA, I said, hit Christine Anderson. We need menus. And we've been on it. So I'm looking forward to going back to the DEXA and then comparing the numbers. Like, okay, did I hit my goal? Did I at least improve?
So was it 6 weeks in between, or is it going to be 8 weeks in between since you did the first one?
I got to check my paper.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they're right here.
Yeah, my
Ballpark, 6 weeks or so.
backpack.
So did you have a personal goal that you wanted? Marisol is like, she's on her, personal goal game.
Yes. That's one of the things that I'm really trying to work on is goal setting. Like this morning, I started in one little notebook. Like every single page was a goal. Like I want to be a more proficient writer. Like I want to be better at writing and knowing how to approach the process, So I wrote down like, okay, mentors, teachers. Is there a class? Is there a book? Is there like a network, like a study group? Like maybe I could hit up Luis Midnight, Javi, some of my comedian friends, and even if I'm helping them with a joke, it's an exercise. You know what I'm saying? So all that will be on that page, if that makes sense. But in terms of goals for this, I believe I was at 27, 20. What was it? My body fat.
I don't remember.
It was something like 27, something like that. Maybe even, let's just say 28. Call it 28. I wanted to at least get down to 23. That was like my next, if I could hit 23.
But I think he's asking, do you have a deadline, like a date? Like, do you want to be here by this month or,
No, it's not really. To me, it's not like a particular date.
It's just achieving those
It's
things.
more like numbers.
Okay.
Numbers, and just like visual things. Like, okay, I want to be able to wear, I want her to be able to just pick something off the rack.
Oh, yeah.
It could be like immediate, just grab it, baby. I ain't even got to go with you. And then bam, throw that bitch on. Oh, abs. You see abs, right? Is that an ab?
That's what I miss. I used to love being able to go to the store and just grab that shirt, grab that size pants, because I knew it was going to fit me. I didn't need to work. Now I was like, shit, let me go in that dressing room real quick. Let me try that
Certain
on.
materials a little more stretchy than others.
Yeah. How do these run? How do these run?
Exactly.
Hey, Chingo, let me get your shirt, man. What size you wear? Depends.
You using
What is
cotton?
that?
What brand is this?
Yeah. Is this a Gildan heavy duty double cotton, or is this one of the stretchies?
Polyester?
But I'm just happy that I have the
wherewithal?
the wherewithal to know, like, all right, bro, you done did it your way for damn near 40 years.
Which wasn't terrible. Which you can't beat yourself up and say it was like a bad way.
I just want
Just
to
wasn't the
hear on the
optimized way.
podcast for the audience, for
What?
everybody who subscribes. How many subscribers do we have so far?
I don't know, but it's in the thousands.
Okay, so the thousands
Just
of
call
subscribers.
me out on what you finna call me.
I just want you to say that I was right.
You were right, especially about the menus and the diets. The menus and the diets.
I'm going to zoom in on this part of myself's face.
And this is why. Because my assumptions and what I've been told and what I've read, it's always like, you need more protein, brother.
Mm-hmm.
There's a math equation. And when we get Christine on here, when we get Christine on here,
It'll be actually when we get back.
Oh, okay.
She thought it was going to be a phone interview.
Not
we don't
fam.
have a way to
We need
do
you in
that.
here.
Yeah,
No,
we
fam.
need to.
We in the dungeon.
We need you in the camera.
Yeah.
Which also maybe in maybe in July we'll start doing multi-cam.
Multi-cam?
We'll look
Mhm.
into.
Yeah, we're looking at
We'll look into that round, whatever we need to do,
Sure.
so that if she's telling the story, boom,
Okay.
vice versa, get multiple. We can see everybody. Because right now you just a voice.
Yeah, right.
Over here, voice of God.
This thing we have over here, we just get one that has multiple, and then we can plug up multiple cameras like this, and then I could just cycle through every time someone's talking.
Okay, boom.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do. What was I saying? Oh, about the menu. Plus, I had experimented with slow carb. I still believe slow carb can work for tons of people because it has. But for me, you know, these menus are really proven to be just a lot more measured and, hey.
Yeah. Especially when you're not that big. Like, you're not a huge guy by any means.
Exactly.
So you have to be more dialed in when you're already, like, relevantly lean.
And what happened was in the past when he would, because it's not the first time Christine has given him a menu. In the past, he was impatient and he wanted results like ASAP.
Yeah.
And I'd tell him, it's like, it takes.
Or sometimes I would get results and would be kind of on it and then just kind of fall off.
You're like, I'm good.
There's like a thing like, oh, well, I went out of town and well, that went to shit. And then it was holidays and it was my friend's birthday and then it was Christmas and then, my family this and.
Yeah. So it was like, so I would just tell him, if you would stick to it, it actually works. Like I'm telling you, stick to it and it works. And it was just like frustration. Then he's like, no. See, I read that Tim Ferriss said. And I was like, okay, well. And then he would tell me, you should really try. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I got a menu. And I know that.
Shit, like, I've been a bodybuilder.
I know that following my menu works. So I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm not trying to change it. It's worked for me in the past. It got me to where I needed to be. It got me to a competition. I actually won a competition. So I just felt like that's what I'm sticking with.
Know what I'm talking about?
So I'm just saying, right?
Yeah,
Right?
100%. When you had it like that, it's hard to like do it any other way.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And I'm not saying other diets don't work because my
Sure.
girlfriend has an amazing body and she does keto. And
It just depends.
she
on
swears by it.
your
She did it
lifestyle.
all through her pregnancy too. She also followed keto. So I mean, you see
If
her,
you do it
she's
right,
shredded,
yeah, but
you know
it's
what I'm
hard
saying?
for some people to.
for sure, sustaining
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, just it's easy to fuck up because it's
Yeah.
like, well, I ate a ton of bacon, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you might have lost weight, but you might want to check.
Yeah, and some people, like, I forgot the process called, what it's called, but if you eat too much protein, it ends up breaking that down into glucose, like into sugar. So you can actually eat too much protein and still get out of ketosis. So it's
Yeah,
just
see,
hard.
that whole thing is so complicated. Like,
Yeah.
first you got to detox,
Mhm.
and then you start. It's just kind of like, oh man, as it is for me. I guess once you figure it out and you know how to do it, it probably is great for you. You know what I'm saying? Because once you figure it out. But for me, it was like, whoa, it's too many steps for me before I even get to the what is it called?
Ketosis. And then you go. They say it could take up to a year to get into that zone, and then any little thing will throw it off.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like what you were saying about high protein, more protein. Well, all that shit still adds up to calories.
Mhm.
So, let's just say you're doing, you're eyeballing, like I'm doing hella protein. And I mean, if you're doing like protein and veggies, and I'm sure you could pull it off, but it's easy to be like, well, fuck, why am I just getting fat if I'm just having protein and broccoli? Well, how much fucking broccoli, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard to
mean,
overdose
yeah,
on broccoli, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's so gross after a while. I
Yeah,
can't.
for real.
I hate it when I see it on my menu. I'm like,
There's only so many ways to make it. and
well,
then
you know what
you're
I
over
did
it.
for a second? No joke. I'd make salsa,
Mhm.
and I would cut the
Broccoli salsa?
no. I'd make salsa, and then I'd cut the broccolis in half, and then I'd dip them in there and make it into
Like
like
chips?
chips.
Oh, my
In
God.
my brain, that's what I would tell myself. These are chips. And actually,
It's
I
a
think
Frito-Lay right here.
I actually think I posted a video when I was prepping at one point, and I did that, and I was like, hey, guys, this is how I train my brain to think. Like, so I seriously would, like, kind of eat it and close my eyes and be like, oh, this chip is really good. Ooh, this salsa. And I seriously had to do it because I was so over broccoli. So over it. I fucking, like, was so over it. I was like, how much more broccoli can I have?
She had beef with broccoli.
It was like, I did. It was like, fuck broccoli.
Fuck broccoli.
That's why when I
in the
see it
pea.
now in my menu, I'm like,
F you in the pea, broccoli.
Christine, exactly. I'm like,
F you in the pea.
I even asked her, and then she put Brussels sprouts for a minute, but you got to know how to cook those. And I'm just, I
fucks
just
with
couldn't.
like spinach.
Spinach, I love, you know.
Broccolini.
Broccolini's easier because it's smaller and it's not so
Tough.
yeah. But
Brussels?
when-
You don't like Brussels?
excuse me. Well, I guess I don't do a good I don't saute them correctly, or I don't know if I just don't.
Just put them in the oven. Cut them in half. Put them in there with a little bit of bacon. Chop them up. Dice them. And
Well, I can't have bacon. We can't do bacon.
Why not?
It's not part of
it's
the
not part of
menu.
the- okay, gotcha.
Unless, well, even if you do small amounts to flavor it up,
Sure.
that fat might,
Sure.
if you overdo it.
For sure. And, you know, seasonings, too. Speaking of seasonings or salsa, like, having, like, salsa is good. Just, you know, vegetables, mash it up or whatever. But when you use all the seasoning, you guys are familiar with Flavor God, right?
Yeah.
So the owner always goes to stores like Whole Foods or whatever, and he gets a whatever powder and then his powder. And he goes by the ingredients, and it's like sugar is one of the first 3 ingredients in all the major seasonings, and his is just like the natural ingredients. So if you season a bunch of stuff with all the stuff in your pantry, usually it has a lot of sugar and nitrates in it and stuff.
Well,
Ooh,
also, but also, with Flavor God, that Mrs. Dash is also very comparable.
Oh yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah. So I ordered whenever I was competing, I ordered that. I actually ordered the popcorn flavors too. So he's got popcorn flavor, I actually won his. I even have his, I don't know how I won, but I won the online book that he had.
Oh, cool.
And so it's in my email. I never even opened it. I'm not going to lie. But I just wanted the seasoning, so whatever. But anyway, but then
Speaking of ebook, when your ebook?
Right. I had a little one.
Oh, yeah?
But I sold it. We actually made little booklets, and I would sell them to my students.
My baby's
I think there's one under there.
What up? Where they're at? We got to put that up so
Right.
people might want it online.
So anyway, so going back to that, so then I go to the store and I saw Mrs. Dash and I was like, what?
What if he was taking Mrs. Dash and just putting his sticker
I was
in?
like,
Really?
did I just get no?
Bamboozled?
Like, because this is a little bit more pricey than Mrs.
Sure.
Dash, you know? I know exactly.
It just
So
started
I
getting
just
higher
do
and higher.
Mrs. Dash.
So that's in
you
the
know?
store?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just go get it. Go look at, compare it, and it's like
Cool.
same. And
Gotcha.
I don't like to knock anyone's business,
Yeah.
but you know, as it is, you know, when you're doing competitions, paying nutritionists, you know, paying for posing classes, you're trying to cut cost whichever
sure.
way you can, and that was one
Unless
of
you
my.
got a sugar daddy.
Heyo.
Sometimes sugar daddy need to collect his sugar.
Hey, unless you got a sugar daddy, but you're in charge of the finance, so then you know.
So you kind of your own sugar daddy.
So then you
Like
got
a
to
sugar
manage it.
mama.
We're like, ooh, yeah, we can't.
And then she manages the finances, then she gives me my little budget, so she like my sugar mama.
Funny how that works, huh? Circle of life.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like, ooh, we can't do that today.
So LA's a couple days away. My main goal, man, I'm just excited to just enjoy it. Just smell the roses, live it up. Even though we're going to be working and stuff. But
Smell
it's
the
like,
pollution.
yeah, right, the smog. Smell the traffic. But just live it up because there's no pressure. We're not going out there to, like, make it. No, we're there to fucking document. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like we already made it. Meaning, we're documenting what the fuck we're doing. That shit's going to YouTube.
Yeah.
So content is
So
getting
we're
made.
excited about that. So
That's
for
cool.
the listeners, there'll be vlogs up. I told Chingo we should have kind of already started, like a countdown to.
Well, I could start with the unboxing.
What we've
Like,
been.
this
yeah.
the Little Mocha recommended that camera. It's
Oh,
a
dope.
Sony. It's a Sony.
Handycam?
Oh no, that was the Canon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what do you mean Handycam?
Just one of their. It's like the Sony Handycam is just like one of their.
Well, it's a
like,
little pocket, like
Yeah.
vlogger.
Cool. Do an unboxing. That'd be cool. Or do some stories on it.
That could be, yeah.
Or an IGTV or something.
Like this is gonna be my vlog camera type thing. And I'm taking the little GoPro. It's an old school GoPro. Maybe I'll have Jesus Sepulveda show me how to use it. Of course, we have cell phones too.
I want the little stabilizer thing that you have.
Oh yeah.
I need to order one. You think
It's
it'll come
the
in
gimbal?
time? The gimbal, yeah. See, that's
to
the one
get
I
the
was
steady
trying-
shots. Right.
I
Yeah.
just think like us recording, even that, because sometimes holding it with your hand, it kind of gets.
Yeah, you get the shakiness.
You get the shakiness. What you think?
Sure. I ordered a little handle. It's a Sony brand handle for that camera, and it's a handle, but it also opens up to like a little tripod.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, because I mean I have a Joby and all that, but
I love how excited you guys are about something that you guys have done, and like you've done this stuff before, but it's like you have a better understanding
Now
of
we're
why
doing
you're
it
doing
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why you're doing it and where it's gonna go and how you're distributing it.
and doing it right, because what always throw me off from vlogging, a couple things. Number one is just having the understanding of you got to show, not tell. As soon as you wake up or whatever, you got to do your morning check-in or whatever the fuck that establishes the day.
Yeah.
And then just whatever in the middle, and then your nighttime checkout, and just look at it as you're documenting, not like trying to create and force. Sure, in the edit, you could get creative.
Yeah.
But I think I would always fall off with vlogging because it just.
Well,
you
it's
gotta commit, just like anything.
It's
For
work,
sure.
you know.
100%.
So I already know I'm gonna have to make time to edit.
I think in my iMovie, there's one that I attempted to start, and even when I was competing, I was supposedly trying to document. Remember, we tried, and there's a few on there where I'm like, okay, now I'm pulling up to the gym, like now I'm working out. You know, this is me prepping my food. You know, so there's a few on there, and my thing was to try to do like a 10-day, like a document up to, and then
Countdown.
and then a countdown. That's kind of what I was trying to do. But man, like I quickly realized like how much of a job it's a job. So that's now I understand why these vloggers get paid and, you know, are sponsored by whoever they're sponsored, because it's a job. You know?
When people are like, they just say, oh, they make so much money. Like, it's so easy what they do. I'm like, you're out of your goddamn
Well, it's
mind.
their
No,
job.
it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these full-time professional, like Little Mocha, for instance.
And Casey
That's his
Neistat,
job.
Oh, yeah.
man,
whole nother
Casey, he's
level.
got it like.
And you're talking about people that do like these crazy editing and transitions and color correction.
Drone shots
Yeah.
and time lapses.
Just color correcting alone takes forever.
So I follow this lady. She's from London, and she's a mom vlogger, right? And she does reviews and she does different things. But I was telling
She
Pete-
sits in her garage and does
Yeah.
a bloody vlog.
and then it was funny because I was
That's what I
telling
wanna do.
Pete that, right? She just videotaped herself going into labor, like she was having a home
What?
birth. She was having a home birth, and so she's just like normal. And I was telling Pete, I was like, I don't remember being normal like that. Like I remember just like, oh my god.
Imagine if
and
I had a camera in your face.
Well, we did.
Oh,
we
you
did
had
a
have video.
photographer.
No, we
Oh.
had a videographer.
Oh, she videotaped too.
She sent me the link, and to be honest with you, I haven't clicked it.
That's funny.
And I
Well,
have been bugging her about the
Well,
video.
you know what? That can probably be edited into a.
That'd be a cool. That would be a cool little teaser for the book that you're writing about home births.
Right? There you go.
The ebook.
For
and
real.
so
Consider a midwife.
and listen, consider him.
Hey,
let
that's
me
a
go,
good title.
Well, that's
the logo.
That's the campaign
my
that
midwife is
Afua,
doing right now.
Afua Hassan.
That's hilarious.
I have a T-shirt that I'm going to take a picture. I'll probably want a whole penny. It says "Consider a midwife," and that's like her campaign. And we we met up with her yesterday, and it was interesting because she said the moms could represent home birth life all day.
Mhm.
It doesn't really like yes, it spreads and makes an impact. She said, but when dads get behind the movement, like when you see a dad wearing a "Consider a Midwife" T-shirt at Target, she's like, that's when it tends to really stop people and be like, hey man, what do you mean? What is that? You know, and for a dad, because there's been a few people, even at shows and stuff, where people be like, hey, so was that for real? Or, you know, a joke about having a home birth. Or they'll say, so what was that experience like for real? Because we're thinking about it, that type of thing. And then I'm able to break down, like for instance, man, there's all these studies about hospital births where they tend to overdo it with those, what are they, episiotomy? Is that what it's called? Where the doctor, you know what that is?
I think I do. Where they have to, yeah.
They force a tear. They rip you before the baby can rip you, which is a rare thing, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they mess up and they go and you know what's right. It's
yeah.
next door.
Oh.
So it's starting to connect with the other rip.
And if you can't connect the dots, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way the anatomy works. You know, you ripping into a whole nother danger zone.
It's gripping and ripping.
And just to make it clear, like I know that we've talked about home births a lot on our podcast, and you know we for somewhere or another it comes
They're
up.
probably like, and diets, and fitness.
Yeah, we're so over those fucking combos.
Fucking
We're
hippie.
not like trying to like push anyone to
Sell
be
out.
that. Everybody,
They're
like,
always
when I-
preaching.
Yeah,
Ya no me gustó este pedo.
I'm unsubscribe. Yeah, so it's pretty cool because
Brussels sprouts. Nah, man.
That's exactly what they did too.
yeah.
Nah, man, cámbiale ese pedo, un corrido. So what were you saying? Home birth?
No, I lost my train.
Oh,
of
sorry.
thought.
No, well, I got three old friends who are having kids here in the next couple of months, in the next month or so, and we're all talking about it. Couples, or whatever, talking about it, and two of them already, I think, have their scheduled C-section day,
yeah.
and then one's doing it naturally, and one of them got diabetes, and we were
We
talking
talked
about that.
last week, I told you.
I was like, and
And
I'm just
more
listening.
than likely, after
She's
she
gonna
has
have
it,
it still,
she's
right?
gonna have it if
Unless
she
you
doesn't
beat
take
it.
care. Yeah, unless she takes care of herself.
And you had just brought it up, which I had never heard that before. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's even gestational high blood pressure or...
Oh, I don't know about that.
And we just talked about this last week. So, and it just so happens between then and now, I had that conversation with a friend. And I was
you're
just
a fucking expert.
Right. No, that usually would be me is like, diarrhea of the mouth shit that I heard. But I just like listen.
USA Today has studies disproportionate amounts of deaths in African American and Hispanic women in hospitals, namely the ones, there's like a list of hospitals.
Dude, I always just say, you should listen to the What They Said podcast. We talked about that. Instead of telling them about it, I tell them they should go listen to the podcast instead. Yeah. No, but I just listened to what she was saying, and it was just blowing my mind. I was like, I can't believe that could happen from just being pregnant and then continue after birth.
Well, it's not so much like because you're pregnant.
They said you pretty much already had it before, but you never had done anything to really technically cause it, right? And so then you get pregnant, and I guess I don't really know how it activates it.
But
I don't even know if that's the right word to say, but
it triggers it.
It triggers it, yeah. And so then you become diabetic. That was the number one scare for me when I was pregnant, and I just remember like being super conscious of it.
Oh, I'm watching this video now. Chingo's showing me your one-arm burpees.
Fucking one-arm burpees, bro.
You're doing it pretty good. It seems
Dude, no.
Not me. Watch me. Watch me. Look at my burpee on the floor. Look at that. I barely.
One-arm fucking burpee? That's...
with a dumbbell.
The shit out of my fucking face.
You're like, I don't want to do that for a month.
For real. With a fucking dumbbell. Jesus.
But now you're going to be so like deconditioned when you come back that when you do go back to train with them.
Well, that's the conversation we had. Yeah. It's let's not get deconditioned.
Digress, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to send us workouts, right?
So I went on ahead and gave... this is the first time I've ever had a trainer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Myself was like, fuck that noise. I know how to do it.
Well,
she's like, YouTube is my trainer.
I did have a trainer at for a hot minute at the
DLB?
very beginning. At the very beginning, I had Lalo.
Okay.
At the very beginning, I think I did it for maybe 2 months. It just wasn't... It wasn't for me. Nothing... He was great at what he does. You know what I'm saying? It just... I can't have someone telling me what's
my
next.
form is wrong.
No. It was no. I just couldn't have anybody. When it comes to bodybuilding or weightlifting, I really like to be by myself, and I like to be in a zone. So for me, that's really hard. When it comes to stuff like this, it's not stuff that I do on my own. Does that make sense?
That hit
like
crazy.
The hit, like
fucking NFL Combine shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like hit, like going to Crew Bob, to going to Urban Jungle, going to spin. I'm not going to go and do that shit on my own. I'm being realistic. I'm not. I need someone in that department to push me.
I'm not finna do.
I'm not.
Crab walk straight into abs.
I'm not.
To bear crawl back into.
Exactly.
sprint,
I'm not going to do it.
shuffle.
I'm probably going to do maybe a third of that.
I'll be like,
on my
I think
own.
we're good, babe.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah,
Wanna get some water?
Exactly how I probably would have been. Like hey,
being able
good?
to talk.
Yeah, you should be like, we're just going to eat better this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
After this, so yeah.
What's next? What's next on the agenda? Okay,
Nah,
cool.
we're like,
you ready to stop in 15 minutes?
You want to go get a coffee?
Yeah, that's exactly. So that's why I was telling Sean that I was like, I really want to make it a point to where he and I can work together so that we really are pushing each other. Because if I do it on my own, if it's he goes to the gym first, because again, we're not going to have a babysitter, right?
Yeah.
If he goes to the gym by himself first and then I go, you know what I'm going to end up doing? I just know myself.
treadmill.
No, I'm gonna because I don't even like
Buku
the treadmill.
curls.
Exactly, I'm gonna go lift weights.
Buku curls.
Which is
I'm
great.
gonna go.
Hella shoulders.
I'm gonna go do
Hella
whatever part of the week that is for me to go work out. That's what I'm gonna probably do because I'm like, well, fuck it. I like this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't like anything to do with.
I think my campaign is gonna be like, I'm just trying to man up.
Man up.
Because if you think about it, like, if I were to go try out for some like army shit, not that I'm trying to join the military, but like, say there's like a well, this is what the army does, or like the MRF. You know about the MRF thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Excuse me.
So I just want to be fit, like man up to the point to where on some like fighter conditioning type shit, to where like if I go to a jiu-jitsu class, I'm actually able to learn and try to drill some things and learn versus. My stomach's in the way, or I'm out of breath, or I'm just sweating too hard, or I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm out of shape. I'd rather just be like, well, I'm in shape. I'm just trying to learn what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So almost like some man up shit. So like I always say, if it's 3 a.m. and you got to pump gas and some shit pops off, how many rounds can I go? So I just want that confidence, man. It's like on some man up shit, like just character. Just all that on the other side of the page is just weakness. It's just the ego, lack of humility, just weakness, just character flaws. Like just all the bad habits and all that shit is over here. Weakness, and you just can't even be disciplined and say no to the, like, okay, it's cheat day. It's not a cheat meal. That's on the right side of the page. Left is all the good shit, like on some man up shit. Like if I have to do some pull-ups right now to save my life, I'm a fucking do them. You know what I'm saying?
Chingo's gonna be the Latin like Cam Haines or Goggins or.
Oh no, the Goggins. No, he runs like 100 miles. What does Cam Haines do? I heard the name.
He's the hunter. He also runs like him and Goggins were running together for a while. Like they've both been on Rogan and they do ultra marathons. And Cam Haines does it just in preparation for hunting because he's going up mountains and different kind of terrain.
Wow.
So he
but
trains
just,
real
shit
crazy.
like that. Just
Can you turn me up a little bit, Ron?
Sure.
Just stuff like
Thank
that.
you.
Like in terms of like just fitness. Like without a shadow of a doubt, I just want to know that I'm like not lying to myself in the mirror. Like I'm fucking putting my best foot forward, like just tackling goals and just feeling good. You know, just I don't want to sound like Kevin Hart, no shit like that, but it just creates a halo effect, and it just creates a domino effect of positivity and like self-discipline and shit, to where all your decisions throughout the day, like people like The Rock and Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart and all these like just successful people, Rogan, you could just name a motherfucker. You know, they got certain shit in common, and the amount of work and just stuff and meetings and things and projects and campaigns and things that they're able to get done, there's no room for bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to be like a better dad and just a better person and live your 40s to be like the best, you know, and you're just in the best shape of your life, you about to hit 40, and you want to like just be kicking ass. Like, how's the tour going? Man, I'm great. How you feeling on stage? Fantastic. You know, does the traveling weigh you down? Not really. You know, there's no room. It's like, it's almost like it's like oil and water. It's like two things are not going to be able to coexist. You know, bad habits, poor discipline, lying to yourself, all that shit just spills in, and there's just absolutely no way you're going to be like A1 fucking super fucking focused if you just don't.
But, you know, on the flip side, there are some people who are comfortable with their weight, with their lifestyle. They're happy, you know, but I think everybody needs to find their happy. So if your happy is eating, you don't mind being the weight that you are, you feel good. And
But the way they psychologically convince them of that, you could argue that they could be psychologically convinced otherwise if they were to read the right things and have the right like motivation or inspiration behind them. It's a choice. You guys choose to do what you're doing.
Exactly. I think that all of that is this is my happiness.
Yeah.
This is what I feel makes me happy, and I feel happy and I feel good after I do it. Like, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. For some, it probably feels like a waste of time, you know, like, fuck am I doing here? I don't, you know, I'm good. I feel good. You know, I don't have any problems. I don't have any issues. So why do I need to, you know, dedicate myself to fitness or, you know, whatever? I honestly, one thing that Sean said at one of our workouts, which is very true, is your heart needs to be healthy. Yeah. Your physical, you can look great, which is very true. You can look great, but your heart also needs to be just as healthy. So for me, that's the reason why I do it, because I didn't have my baby at 25, 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like my time is so limited because I had my child at 36. And so now I feel like, well, fuck, I'm not far from 46 and I'm not far from 56. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, you know, we 66.
You know, exactly.
86.
And it's like, damn, you know, I wish, then it's kind of like, I should have taken better care of myself when I
well, just to have that quality of life, like that mobility. Either you're going to have like, by the time, let's just say you're in your 50s, you're either going to be like 50 and fine and you just able to whatever, man. I take my boy, what we running? How many miles? Let's do it. Like 50 don't mean shit. And I know a couple, like the other Rob. Shit, for 50 years old, he'll probably dust me on a track.
And he's
like,
got abs of
like
a
just,
young
yeah,
guy.
body
Yeah.
fat percentage.
But he watches what he eats at all times. He's putting it in on his app. Like he don't just, and he doesn't like, you don't ever see him just, well, let me sit here and eat, this
big
garbage.
ass bowl of pasta. Or something.
But you got to make those good decisions. Like when you form those good habits that you guys are trying to do, and I try to do all the time, it's hard to waver from that. But if you never make those habits, then you're like,
well, that's like to me today. I was like, that fucking stupid ass cheat day yesterday wasn't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's
and he
kinda
heard that. He was like, you guys should probably just do maybe cheat meal.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, wait, is this a weekly thing? I'm like, yeah. So look, what she said earlier about heart health. So you might see some like Instagram chicks that they went and got all the surgery and they done got fat pulled out of here and stuck over here. But key word, but
double
you
cheat.
know, did you just transfer some fat and you just got a fat ass, or is there some muscle in there? Is there some strength? What's your fast twitch muscles look like? What's your sprint game? Bitch, do you hit hills? Like, you know what I'm saying? But not only that, but like from a health standpoint, it's like, what's your heart and lung situation?
Yeah.
And I know this ain't the happiness episode. That might have to be the next one. But what's your mind like? Because at what point do you stop? At what point is it enough? You know what I'm saying? That you're just trying to fight like nature, like, oh, this is starting to sag, or there's a wrinkle here, and then at what point, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're talking about like health and fitness again,
Sure,
right? And sorry, this is probably like what Mighty Soul was saying, is like, damn, it's probably the 10th episode.
I know they're probably so over it.
But let me say this though, the way I was talking about earlier, where you put your goal on the page, and I was trying to describe that man up, because I just been like I've been a weakling like my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say I know how to fight. I could probably kind of pretend.
Yeah.
But from a fitness level, 30 seconds. If I gotta throw a couple jabs, I done wasted some energy there. If adrenaline, So at the top of the page, on this particular page, I just put 20% body fat. I know earlier I said 23, but let's just say 20% body fat. Okay, so what exactly am I willing to do to achieve that goal, right? So some other things is, she should be able to grab a size medium, and I should be able to throw that motherfucker on. Let's get the fuck up out of here. Ooh, is that an ab? Yeah, that's an ab right there. So what am I going to do to accomplish this? So we hire professionals, right? Like you said, these are the things we're willing to do and we want to do.
Right.
So from a food perspective, menu, Christine Anderson. On some HIIT cardio, like high intensity type, that fucking NFL combine shit. He's got us doing this track and field, plyometrics. We have Sean Harris. So just not to mention, Crew Bob. We'll get in there some sessions with Crew Bob. We'll go to Urban Jungle and, learn some jiu-jitsu or whatever. So this is what I'm putting on my page. Like, what am I willing to do? Then there's the shit I could do on my own time. But just from, like, hiring people with knowledge and experience, and that's what the fuck they do, that's going to help me man up just so I could be my best,
So one thing that I want to encourage Mickey to do while we're out there, I think I talked about this the last time. I want to do a picture calendar, right? So, like, what activity she did that day. And I have those little Polaroid cameras that you can print from your phone and they're miniature.
Oh, that's
they're
cool.
actually made for that type of calendar, right? Because I'm obsessed with planners, and so I ordered it a long time ago. Before Pete's looking at me like,
no.
Wait,
I'm trying. So walk me through it.
So you get the planner and the
It's like
planner,
a Post-it you can just put on it.
Yeah, you just take the back off and it sticks
that's
on there.
cool.
So I wanted her to create her own experience for a day, like her daily vlog, but a daily planner where she can look back and be like, oh, this was really cool. And for me, pictures are important. I'm a picture whore. Like, I love pictures, and I think that's the only thing you have, like, memory or of whatever event you went. Like, when back then, I can't find it, but I have a USB and it's full of pictures. I've got several of them because I stopped,
we're from that era.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
we're from
there's like Instagram in the
Right.
cloud.
You got photo albums everywhere.
Well, I do have a photo album I like to print them. So I started one for Penny, and I like to be able to like look at the pictures, and have them. And we don't print anymore, but I've started to print again, because I just think it's important. But anyway, I want her to start that, and so that it's also an activity that she and I can do together as a way that I entertain her, and we kind of like make it decorative, and you do whatever you want.
So how many pages are in this?
It's a 30-day calendar.
it's
So
30
every day
days,
you have a calendar, and you
every
make
day is one picture.
and you in there, so it leaves room for you to put on there like great day or
that's awesome.
whatever. So they're called the Happy Planners. I'm obsessed with them, and so yeah, I know. So I love decorating them. Actually, one of the first planners that I got for the tour, because I get a planner every year, it's down there. I keep them all.
Oh.
And that's something that I learned from
Joan Rivers.
A
A documentary.
Because when they did a documentary on her, she kept each one of them. And so I said, well, I want to look back 10 years and look and see where it says, oh, look, babe, we sold this show out, or this show was shitty. Look who we had on this show,
Mm-hmm.
So I've started to keep all my planners. But anyhow, I want these pictures. So when we're in LA, I want to do the same thing. So I want my planner to have a picture every day of whatever we did that day. Even if it was just sitting around the house, right? It needs to be a picture, because I want to be able to like look back at it. My point is, these pictures for me that I'm going to take is so that I can see my progress as well. And then I can like, oh shit, like I did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And it holds you almost accountable, because as you start to see the picture change, you're like, what? Like, okay, there's some change here. It's almost like, I told you, it's almost like whenever you're competing, and as you're dieting, they change your diet, you start to see, because, you have to send in pictures to your coach. So as I'm sending in pictures, I'm seeing the cuts, and I'm seeing that. So it's the same. I want that same feeling again, except I'm not competing, you know, but I just think it's cool. So, but I want Mickey to do it in the sense of her activities, of what she's got going that day,
Yeah,
whether even it be a picture of the city, whatever it is, wherever we went, a coffee shop, I don't care what it is, but I think it's cool for her to
Well,
do.
yeah, this is all for them. Like, sure, I'm taking classes, and I'll be networking and meeting people, and probably some meetings, and a lot of rehearsals every day, bunch of shows. But more than anything, I'm looking forward to like Penny in the pool. Mickey able to say, I lived in LA for a month, and
And I took acting classes,
or
whatever.
and just for her to get that confidence, because she has a great imagination, but she could be shy at some parts. So, and she loves art, all the arts. So I want her to have some actual training versus, I'm learning how to play ukulele on YouTube and whatever. But just some training to get that confidence of like, I'm knowledgeable on the subject, and I've have experience with that. But just overall, just experience in the city, and I just don't want us to be with the hustle and bustle. I don't want that work stress to get in the way at all of the experience. So I just want to make sure that we're just like relaxed, living it up, enjoying the moment.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cali month.
Going back.
Cali.
I'm excited. Has anybody posted like suggestions, Rob? Like
Well,
when
we
I asked last time, I
We
said,
should probably
I
put
should
the word
probably
out.
put it on there.
I haven't done
Like-
that on the podcast page. For places or things to do?
Probably
Everything.
Well, we can't be eating junk every day.
No.
But, maybe Sunday we'll do a cheap meal. But
Moving to meals now.
yeah, just knock it down to meals, sir. Because yesterday, let's see,
What
we
y'all
didn't
do?
do as bad as we could have. But I had like one slice of pepperoni pizza. What else did we eat yesterday, boo?
Nothing worth.
What was it?
Nothing worth?
What was
You're
it?
like disappointed in me.
I
there.
am. Oh, but you know what's crazy? We did go to Chiloso's, the taco place, for breakfast.
Oh, that looked good.
Ah, so good. But you know how your
I couldn't even
stomach,
finish,
we
yeah.
couldn't finish it. You know
My
how your
breakfast
stomach starts
tacos.
to shrink, and so you
Yep.
kind of don't fit as
Your
much
appetite
food.
changes. You start to get these
So I was
smaller
like,
portions.
I told him, I said, I just totally
Got full.
I took a bite and I was done. But I kept looking at it,
You're full.
and I'm like, I'm full. And I was like, did I
One more for the road.
Really? Did I just take another bite? I didn't even need it. I was done. I wasn't hungry, but I saw it sitting there, and I just
The
like
little Chapel Hill sausage
it's
with the
Chapel Hill.
eggs.
Exactly.
How many did you have? 2 or 3?
I just
I
ordered
had
2
2.
breakfast tacos. I didn't even finish them, bro.
Yeah, me either.
I left
We
like a
them
good
there.
solid bite.
And my sister's
of
like,
each.
"Are y'all not hungry?" We're like, "No, yeah, we were." And she's like, "She goes, I had all my." She ate all her tacos, but she had
Well,
just
she
finished.
does Cynthia
CrossFit.
does. I be telling her, I'm like, hey man, like every day you going hard like that. I just be like, man, your central nervous system.
Oh, the
like
CrossFit
just,
life or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
CrossFit,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
'cause she's like,
She's
I
all
did a
about-
Murph this morning. I'm fucking starving.
Yeah.
I was like, bro.
Yeah.
I was because we had was that the family event? Was that yesterday?
Sunday,
no,
baby.
yeah, it was-
Saturday, I'm sorry.
Okay, well Saturday she's like, I just did a Murph.
That's so funny.
Starving.
Dawn, when she was competing in bikini as well, she was also doing CrossFit, like shortly
Oh,
after.
she was,
Yeah, so she went from CrossFit to competing and then back to
CrossFit.
CrossFit. Yeah, and it's a weird world. Like, you know, it's just that's not for me.
It's not for me either. I tried it just because it was the hype or whatever, and so I went one day, and I was just like, the whole time all I was doing was critiquing like the
form?
movements, the
Oh, yeah.
form, and I'm just like, okay, how many of those before? With time, your joints just start
Yeah.
giving out, and trust me, and I don't knock it because it's honestly like whatever like floats your boat
Yeah.
for exercise, do it.
I respect it, and
Exactly.
I would
For
love
sure.
to. I would love to get into shape to where I know some of those CrossFit places they do like boot camps, so they'll
Yeah.
do like I don't want to like go all in the CrossFit life,
Mm-hmm.
which I think like she said I think it's great. I've seen it save people's lives, like change people's
And
lives.
it's a cult
And
almost.
yeah,
you
it's
know,
like a little
they're
religion.
they're like together and they encourage each other and they push and push. So
It's funny we brought it up. I haven't read these articles yet, but CrossFit quits Facebook, Instagram, and accuses social media giant of censorship and being utopian socialists.
What the fuck does
what
that
does that mean?
Yeah, so I haven't read it, but yeah, apparently they took off all of the main
Accounts?
accounts off Facebook and Instagram for social media reasons of some sort of.
So where can you go to? Find
Exactly right. So when
CrossFit?
Don read that to me, yeah, like 2 nights ago, we were sitting on the couch and I was like, yeah, probably because the fucking gyms are closing like crazy and people are just over it kind of thing is what I said. But
Nah.
maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't
Shit, they're so expensive.
not only that, but I don't hear about nearly as many boxes as I used to like 5 or 8 years ago. Like
What do you mean boxes?
That's what they call them, the facilities.
gyms?
Yeah, boxes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had a name.
Yeah,
It's like,
they-
they opened up a new box up the street.
Yeah, which
like
was always
that.
weird to me. I'm like, what are you referring to? Like a box or a box? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wink, wink.
You know what I'm saying? How many more boxes is over there?
That's what I'm saying. How many boxes are in the
How many
box?
boxes you got?
You know what I'm saying?
A lot.
A lot. How many boxes are in the box? If you catch my
A
drift, a lot. No offense, Hazel Artemis.
Hazel Artemis. And
Nah,
listen, my
CrossFit is
sister
cool,
has
I
lost a lot
Oh yeah, she
of
looks great.
weight.
She was great.
So, I'm not knocking it either. That's what I'm saying. Whatever.
Imagine if she got with Christine. Because
'Cause
my
she's-
theory is sometimes you overdo it in a gym
Mm-hmm.
and you start to reward or overdo it. Like, I fucking earned it. I think I burned 1,000 calories. I'm going to fucking Waffle House right now and drinking syrup. Because I earned it.
Syrup. Yeah, that happens.
Getting by 8 waffles, 2 pounds of bacon. I fucking earned it. And it's like, whoa, you just undid
That's a meathead life. though.
everything.
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 Yeah, so.
The fitness episode.
Yeah, part 2.
Hey,
I'm still-
fitness
I'm
episode
I'm
number 1 million.
Yeah. Well, it's fitting because we had Sean on just right before this one, so
Yeah.
it's like okay, we continued on the conversation without him.
But with me, man, I'm just, to me, it's like it falls under such a big subject of just like life, like designing your life, goal setting, like trying to like character. That's one thing about like, especially about like martial arts or boxing or jujitsu. Like this shit will test your character. Like with jujitsu, it exposed me to, I was exposed in terms of, he still has to work on his ego. He's not very consistent in his commitment here. And this is out of his comfort zone. And, that's why I haven't been consistent. So,
Yeah. It's understandable,
So like I say, even though it might seem like another fitness episode, it's really about like
life.
character and life and like fucking setting goals. And I'm trying to man up, y'all.
Well, all I know is that he's doing a lot better. And I'm so
I'm
proud of
finna
him
be
for
40.
sticking to the menu.
I'm finna be 40. I'm finna post my 40 picture. Shirt off.
40 and thriving.
Yeah.
40, fit and thriving.
Hey.
40, was it 40 flirty?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's that?
At
30?
30 flirty.
30
Yeah, but
flirty.
this won't be, I can't be flirty. So it'd be 40 funny,
Fit.
40 funny,
fit,
fit,
Oh shit.
and fly, and fleek. 40 fleek. What is it? 40
Oh my
feet.
God.
40 fleek and fit.
Just stop while you're ahead.
40 fit. All right. Man up.
Well, I do still think that you should possibly find another jiu-jitsu place while we're in LA. That'd be
There's
kind of
a
dope
ton
because
of
there's
them.
so many
You could
of
throw a
them.
rock at them. There's so many of them there.
Boxes everywhere.
I think you should try.
But, you know, yeah, I'll try. And I'll probably take my gi. Cabrón. But, shout out Eddie Bravo, 10th Planet. That's what I'm going to be. No.
That's no gi, but yeah.
Yeah, no gi. I'm talking about. Scheduling-wise, time-wise, being realistic. Again, like I said, my main thing is just making sure that it's a fun, stress-free working vacation. And honestly, man, I think it's an experiment. It's an experiment. I feel like we're going to gain so much out of it. And I'm already thinking next year to be like, I was telling Sol, I was like, hey, babe, the budget that was set aside for this LA experiment, what would that look like in Mexico City? Like if you took that same budget in terms of like flights, rent a car, Airbnb, etc. What does that look like in Mexico City? Because they got comedy down there, and I'm doing my first Spanish set with Jesus Trejo in LA.
June 21st.
Yeah.
We could totally do it because LA is way more expensive.
bet.
So with what I told him was with what we paid for just the Airbnb, we would have been able to do the whole month.
In Mexico
In
City.
Mexico City, and that's not staying like in a crappy place. It's like
right.
actually staying in a more hip area. It's like, you know, it's actually more like that, you know. And I'm honestly basing it off the hotel we stayed in last time.
Okay.
That's kind of what I based it off of.
Which was the one across from the churro place. And
Yeah.
that's where the fuck we need to be.
So even if we got maybe like a, what do you call those, honeymoon suite or whatever, you know, where they're bigger, and we would still need 2 bedrooms though, because it's, you know,
Or there
the
might
kids.
be an Airbnb.
Yeah, what I'm basing it on is, let's just say the exact same amount they were paying per day at LA, right? Let's just, what we're going to find for that amount of money over there is going to be wow, you know? So that's why I was telling him, I was like, what we paid just for Airbnb stay, it'd be the cost of the whole month.
Well, the way I look at it is, imagine if Mickey is immersed in Spanish, because her Spanish, it's gotten better, you know, but it's non-existent.
She
But-
doesn't know it.
Yeah, it's just little words.
Just put it
she
out
tries.
there, Pete. It's okay.
No. Yeah, it's very.
Did I tell you about the other day what I caught her saying? This
She
is
was telling
hilarious.
Penny.
Penny's playing, and she's trying to put something in her mouth. She's like, "Vaca no," and I'm like, "Okay." I just let her.
The cow.
Cow, and I thought maybe because of
Vaca
because she
no.
likes to watch La Vaca Lola, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Vale, la vaca no," and I was just like, "Okay." I said, "What are you trying to say, baby?" And she goes, "Not to put it in her mouth." I said, "Do you know what you're telling her?"
Cow.
Cow. And she started cracking up. I said, "Boca." She goes, "Well, what's vaca?" And I was
Cow.
like, "Cow." And so she was like, "Well, why do they sound the same?" And it was just hilarious.
Yeah, but take her little ass to Mexico City for a month.
Yeah.
And make friends, play at the park, maybe be in some kind of like activity or class or something. Even though it'll be like
she would panic.
it would suck, you know, because it's like I can't communicate with any of these
Yeah,
kids.
she
Their
would panic.
English sucks, my Spanish sucks, but that's how the fuck you learn.
Yeah, the
That's
kids.
the only way to learn.
they
Aren't you
start-
putting them, the
yes,
twins, in
Spanish immersion camp for 7 weeks? So it starts the 17th or something, like right after Father's Day.
Did you guys already take them for the month?
No.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
we had them this weekend, and then we'll have them next weekend, and then somewhere in there's Father's Day. If I'm not mistaken, early June, I think.
Late June.
Late June. I think it's the day after that is when their summer starts. So we have them until like mid-August until then, and then Spanish school starts then. So from what I think Don was reading to me, there's only 30 minutes of English in the whole day that they speak. Everything else is in Spanish.
Wow, that's dope.
So
That's how they learn.
So I encourage, like, I don't do English with Penny.
Still?
So, I mean, if I speak English to her, it's
it might be me doing like
Yeah.
a little bit of English here and there, but
I rarely.
For the most
I try
part-
not to.
with the between the babysitter and like the YouTube videos and the songs and the music.
And you know what I realize is that I don't think she really understands English. because if I play anything in English, it does not
The beat,
nothing like calls her for her attention. It's just like, oh, whatever that is, you know. I try to put PJ Masks or whatever that thing is
Love
called.
PJ Masks, yeah.
I try to put on
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby. I just played Boss Baby
Love
for
that
her. It was like,
she's like, and then I was like, flip it to Spanish, change the settings, and even then it was like, yeah, they ain't got no cumbias in this shit.
it's like no songs.
She like, ain't no reggaeton on this. You're
Yeah.
like, no.
Pass.
Yeah, so she doesn't. It's nothing like that entertains her. Exactly.
Ain't no rakata up in there. No.
Exactly.
She's
Ain't
getting
no
down.
Guidos.
Yeah, she's getting down to the beats
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
So
So
anything
funny.
that has music in it, she'll like start, you know. But other than that, it's not working. But yeah, for the most part, I don't speak English to her. I mean, if I do, it's like, Penny, what are you doing? Like something like
Yeah.
that. But now I really enforce the Spanish. Like I really want her to speak it, and I really want for it to not be lost, because I think that as generations keep
More and more Americanized.
more, yeah, it's going to be lost completely. I don't even really know that there's going to be that many people
For
speaking
sure.
Spanish in the future.
Speaking of that, I saw a billboard today for Bush beer. Now, I'm not trying to
yeah.
stereotype as to I've never really drank Bush beer. What would you say? Who drinks Bush beer?
My dad.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Fucking
Well,
country ass Mexican.
there you
Oh,
go.
'cause he's in the
So
country.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
lot more country ass Mexicans
For
because I saw a Bush beer ad and it was all in Spanish, like "La que te refresca" or something.
That's
something,
so
something,
funny.
todo like raza, hey, wey, una
What?
pinche Bush beer. And so I'm like, okay, they're trying to get into the game.
Uh-huh.
They know where the census numbers are going. And then I don't want. NASCAR is also trying to expand
Yeah.
into the Latin territory a little bit. So I look at it like a census thing. Like they kind of know which, who multiplies, who what's the word I'm looking for? Who procreates?
Right.
These motherfuckers are coming in by the daily.
Yeah.
This wall ain't working.
Dude, without a doubt.
And so they're looking at it like. So my point is, in the next few years, as some Latin American or Hispanics, whatever you want to call those Mexican Americans, a lot of people, as it is, Tejanos, a lot of Tejanos are like 10th generation, like, I don't know, the border crossed us type of thing. But imagine people that are like, I'm just, all I know is American stuff, and they didn't enforce Spanish, and Bush. I drink Bush beer, and I go to NASCAR. They're not really gonna. It's just like if you look at Italian Americans, Irish Americans, eventually they just start kind of assimilating. And I heard of this thing called I don't know what the word is, if it's like a reverse assimilation or something like that, but it basically means what I heard is that with Latinos, because we popping. We're not because our roots, because our especially if you're from Mexico, or if you live in Miami, let's just say you like Venezuelan from Miami or something, like that's fucking North Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
It's like super the gateway to Latin America. New York, how many Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in Puebla, York, So my point is, it's a thing where we don't necessarily follow the patterns of don't speak Spanish at school because they're gonna hit you.
Right.
Which that would happen back in the day.
Yeah.
My sister, I guess in the 60s, she was a little bitty girl, and she said she peed in her pants because the teacher was mean and wouldn't you want el baño. What? I don't know what you mean. Say it in English. El baño. I don't know. Say it in English.
That's crazy.
Even though she knew, she's squirming. She's got to go pee. So anyway, with other immigrant communities, eventually they would just. My great-grandfather's from Sicily, but I mean, fuck, I'm just from New Jersey.
Right.
I never been to Sicily. Or you Irish, and it's like, well, I have an Irish last name, but I grew up in fucking Massachusetts, and I'm just American. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't go to Ireland. But for Mexicans, it's like, did you hear the new song that just came out? And Vicenta's in town tonight,
Yeah.
and fucking we're drinking tequila, and there's a Mexican restaurant, and we like American shit too. We still, you might listen to American music, but it's almost like the country is kind of assimilating towards us.
Yeah, they just opened up a. You guys ever been to El Tiempo?
Yeah, I've been to one of them.
They're great, right? I've always heard great things, but there's never really been one around Sugarland.
I've never really
Oh, they
ate
open
there. I just
there.
had like a drink.
Okay, they're good drinks as well. But they just opened one right there in between Stafford and Sugarland, and we went the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago. No, but white people. I think I was the only Mexican that sat down at a table, right? So when the server came, I always talk to him in Spanish. Some people are like, isn't it rude to just talk to them in Spanish? Yeah, I'm like, no, it's not, because if he knows English, he'll talk to me in English. I'm not gonna feel
what
like
if he's
I
like,
offended him.
bitch, I'm trying to practice my English.
Yeah, right.
And you over here.
So I was just like, hey, primo, muchas gracias, or whatever. And he just looks at me and he's like, with a smile, like, ¿de dónde eres? And I was like, aquí?
Sugarland?
Yeah, right here. And your parents were like, Mexico, whatever. And we had this whole conversation, but his eyes lit up when somebody actually spoke
He's like,
to him
I'm going to
in
get you
Spanish.
some more guac.
He did. He hooked it up. He's
Hey,
like,
that's brown privilege right there.
Brown privilege for real.
can't get out a ticket, but I can get extra taro beans.
I'm talking about, I got out of a ticket.
Oh,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I already told
he
you
did. He told the story. That was so funny.
One time we got pulled over for an autograph because we're in a wrapped vehicle, and I think it was down in the going towards Kingsville down south, and they pulled us over. I was asleep in the back, and they were like, I woke up to, hey man, I'm like, what the fuck, we've been pulled over? It's like the guy just wants a picture or something for his buddies at the station.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, wow, it was like my little Selena moment, like anything for Selena, or like,
Selena.
Suzette, we're on the radio. That was my thing.
That's funny.
Beady beady bam, we number one. Except it was just, we got pulled over. Fuck.
What if they pulled you over and they were playing your music in the cop car? That'd
be kind of dope.
hilarious. Are we doing more than one podcast today?
We should.
Yeah.
Are you down, son?
You sure?
So we wrap it.
Okay. Yeah, and then because I wanted to bring up, because we put up some content on our YouTube channel, and we're talking about comments and comment. I wanted to talk about creativity and kind of just see what you had to say about that. On the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We love the feedback when you bump into us and you say, hey, man, I listen. Thank you. Because that lets us know we doing something. Trying to be consistent. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep the man up movement. I don't know if that's going to be the movement.
I want us to have a thank you segment where all the DMs that we get from people that tell us they enjoy the podcast, I'd like to shout them out.
Yeah,
so,
thanks for leaving a
So
comment.
thank you
That's
for the
right.
DMs. I totally appreciate those. That, seriously, it's encouraging, although it may not seem like to you guys.
Yeah, because this is a special project.
So, we really appreciate them. And so, keep them coming, and thank you for telling people to listen also, because that was one that I got.
Yeah.
It's like, I tell everybody at work to listen. So thank you guys
This is the
very
best time to
much.
say, too, rate, review, and subscribe it, because the more ratings and reviews on iTunes and YouTube,
We move up
it moves
in the
up in the
ranking.
charts. Yeah.
Nice.
Even if you don't like it,
Ah!
rate, review, and
Yeah.
subscribe.
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 Sus. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all have a good one. Peace.